All right. Welcome, everyone. How is everybody doing today? I am having a great morning despite not sleeping very well last night. It's really weird. I think I might be trying to come down with something here, but wanted to jump on here this morning and um, just kind of have a little discussion about a topic that has recently popped up. But before we do any of that, you guys know the drill, right? As always, after this video, we would really appreciate it if you'd head over to the YouTube channel and do that whole like and subscribe and hitting of the notification bell and all that good stuff. It would really help us out. Just go on over to YouTube after this little video here and do a search for Sub2 Empire. We're the only ones out there with a name like that, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. You'll find us. Um, Also, I want to touch on something as well. These videos are really curated by you, our friends, our fans, our followers out there in the community. Excuse me. Uh, so, if there is something that you would like for us to cover, and believe me, we'll get to them. You just have to go out and post those questions in the comments section of whatever platform you're watching us from. So that's the best way to get your questions answered is to go out there, just go out there and post your question. I mean, it's not that hard to do, and it's going to help you in the long run. I'll make sure that we get to those topics and get every single question answered eventually. Now, you might not get an immediate answer, but we're going to get to those topics, I promise. All right. So let's get this started here. So today's topic, I feel kind of strange for talking about this because I don't know. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor and I'm a coach. Um, we have students all over the country, but I really do want to kind of hit on something today. And this was what was brought up to me this past week. And again, I feel weird for talking about this, but I want to talk about credibility in the coaching space. Now, this is not some kind of self promotion. I promise you, it's not that. It's really just kind of something just to keep you on your toes. It's something I want to talk about to make sure that you are not being led astray. Let's put it that way. All right. So, I do this because I love this. I mean, it feeds me, feeds a really deep part of my soul that is really just a need to connect with people. Now, like I said, we run the coaching program over at Sub2 Empire, and you know, I just don't see a need for what I'm seeing it happening in this space right now, and that is really people just not staying in their lanes. Right now, we have just a multitude of people that just last year were were wholesale gurus. And I've spoken my piece about wholesaling. We do plenty of wholesaling. We kind of have to. Like I've said before, it's a kind of a necessary thing that it's just part of our business. We have to wholesale. I mean, there's just no way about it. If we don't have crews or something like that to go out and make repairs, or if it's a property in an area that we don't particularly care for, we'll wholesale that property off. No problem, right? Um, but where we draw the line is when we see a bunch of wholesale gurus that are all of a sudden now they're creative finance experts. I mean, I'm telling you, this stuff takes years and years of actually doing that work and uh, and really understanding the ins and outs of different creative finance strategies, right? So, and it's something that quite frankly, I'm really good at. Not to, I already told you I love it, but I am admittedly, kind of toot my own horn here, but I am good at this. It's something that I pride myself on. Now, I'm not going to be the most polished speaker on the planet. But the fact is, I have done a lot of these deals. I have done a lot of deals using creative financing, and I really do think I'm qualified to pass on what I've learned to each one of you. There's really no such thing as competition when we're talking about learning. All right, but the problem is when we start veering off into into other areas, excuse me, other areas of expertise. And so, that's not to disparage anybody. There's certainly a lot of good coaches out there, right? But my biggest pet peeve is this kind of, I hate to use this term too, but it's this misinformation about creative financing that you see from a lot of these newer kind of quote unestablished coaches. And I'm not saying you can't know everything, right? I mean, you just can't know everything. There's millions and millions and millions of pages of text out there that we just, we can't know everything. So all of our coaching comes from experience. That's all there is to it. We do a lot of reading, we do a lot of research and study, but really, when it's just all about, when the rubber meets the road, how are you going to get a deal done, and how are you going to do it? We prefer to use creative strategies. Excuse me. Sorry, this coffee's starting to loosen me up here. But everybody can recognize these big coaches, right? I mean, they've got these, the drill. They've got these huge productions, these big flashy studios, and people really fall into that trap of being impressed by all of that. And I totally get it. I 100% get it. I was the same way when I got started. It's exciting. It's totally understandable. But the reality is that none of that garbage is needed. It might be nice to draw you. They use it to draw you in. I mean, that's just the way that's marketing. They're really, really good marketers. But honestly, none of that stuff is needed. I actually moved up to this room here. My wife had surgery last year, and so I moved my office up to an old bedroom. I think I mentioned that previously. And it's just none of that stuff is needed. It does not align with what the goal is. And the goal is to get you folks to the results that you want for this, this purpose-driven lifestyle, this life by design type of thing. All right. So, I guess really, oh man, excuse me. I guess really where I'm going with all of this is, just watch out, just be careful. I see, there are two ways to skin a cat, as they say. There's multiple ways to do things, but when I see information out there that is just flat out either, it's just misinformation. It's wrong. It might even be illegal. You just got to be careful. And so, if you are if you're a wholesaler and you're wanting to get into wholesaling, then go find a wholesaling coach. Like, find somebody who is well established, knows what the heck they're talking about, and they're all about wholesaling. All right. I can guarantee you that will be the best money spent if that's what you want to, if you want to be a wholesaler. But if you want to get into creative financing, you certainly should not be talking to a wholesaler or a wholesale coach, right? It doesn't make any sense. So that's really all I wanted to get off of my chest today, because I'm having, sorry about that, guys. I have got my phone dinging here. But that's really all I wanted to get off my chest. It's troubling to me. I think, we've worked really, really hard to build what we've built, and really to see people out there kind of bastardizing what we do. And, it's just, it's unfortunate, and it's a little bit troubling, but there are tons of really, really good coaches out there. One thing I can guarantee you is that, if you've got other coaches that are maybe in, well, let's say you're out looking in a Facebook group, you're trying to find information. I mean, you're not there to be sold. All right. You're there to try, you're looking for information. So if you've got all of these gurus that are in these Facebook groups promoting themselves as coaches, those are the kind of the ones I would probably I would probably shy away from those. I really would. Um, because when you're a good coach and when you know what you're talking about and you've got a good business, you don't need all that. You don't need all of that self promotion, especially if you're using somebody else's Facebook group to do it. So anyway, that's really all I have to say about that. I'm going to make this one short and sweet. I hope, I realize this is probably not the video that you thought you were going to watch today. Uh, but I think it's a necessary thing to talk about. I really do. This is your life. This is your future. And, something that I take super, super seriously because, I had a great mentor. I had an excellent mentor. It was very, very expensive. It was really expensive. I'm not going to lie. But it was the best money I ever spent. It really was. I haven't had a job now for several years. Let me count the years. I haven't had a W-2 job for 5 years now. And it's all because of him. It's all because of the things that I learned by doing my research and taking the advice and taking the coaching and really just kind of giving into that and soaking it all in. So short and sweet. We're at 11 minutes. I don't really have a whole lot else that I need to cover today. I do kind of have a heart out. It's a really pretty day out today, and I've got some family things I've got to take care of. So, real quick, a little bit of I'm going to start this little scrolling down here at the bottom of the screen. We are having a live event here coming up in December, and we'd love to have you all out. Just go over to uptoempire.com/blueprint. Check us out. This is going to be one of those events that really it's again curated by our friends, fans, and followers. And so we've put this thing together, and we've got a really solid program lined up for this thing. So again, it's December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 2022. That's a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday. So those of you who have, you might have a W-2 or you have something, we're trying to give you enough time to plan for it. But yeah, so on that Thursday evening, Thursday is going to be a really quick, about a 3-hour little social where we're going to get together. You get to kind of rub elbows with people that are in this space and some other folks who are doing creative deals right now. It's a really great environment. But that's going to be here located here locally in St. Louis. So if you have to come out of town, we've got all the information out on that page, uptoempire.com /blueprint. And that is my promotion for the blueprint. It's an excellent. You'll learn a ton. Promise you that. All right, guys. I think that's it. I think that's all we're going to cover today. Again, we really appreciate the whole like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I think you guys know what to do. A lot of us overlook that. I know that I'm guilty of, when somebody asks me to do that, I don't necessarily do it all the time, but I would really appreciate it if you could do that. So, all right, guys, take care. Have a great one. Again, post your questions in the comments sections. We read every single one of those things, and we'll get some videos created based upon that content. So let us know. Appreciate it. Take care.